Joining me now, California's Dianne Feinstein, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, which has been, of course, working on this. I know, Senator, that you've been talking to the State Department. We just talked to Senator Stabenow about the efforts, belated, some would say, because of Nigeria's resistance to accepting help. One of the things that I did not understand was with satellite coverage, where we can redirect our satellites. You don't have to ask for Nigeria's acceptance and their agreement. You're not crossing any borders. Why didn't we have overhead surveillance sooner? This is only now being organized almost a month in.
I actually can't answer that. I think you're right, though, and I think this is one thing we need to prepare, that when you have to prepare that is so dominantly evil, is a terrorist group, and they do something like this. They've burned 200 schools, and they've now kidnapped nearly 300 of these young girls. It seems to me that we ought to be prepared and move. And we do a good of SIGINT, and
signals intelligence, electronic intelligence.
That's right. I've got to look a little bit more closely at when the SIGINT is done, and assuming that it is good SIGINT on a target, that action happens. I need to look more closely at this. So does the committee.
Do you think that, I know there's a lot you can't say about signals intelligence because it's classified, but we assume, certainly from a lot of the things that have been disclosed so far, that overhead surveillance is very, very accurate, that improvements in surveillance, not only from the Global Hawk drones, which we now know have been deployed, but also from the satellites, that we have technical means to penetrate this dense forest and look for these girls.
I'm not going to go into detail, but I would say that our technical means are improving day by day and year by year. There's no question about that. The question that I have is synchronizing what the technical means finds and what the proper action to take really is. And this is difficult.
The analysis
and the action, and under what premise would our nation put in a special forces unit to go in and carry out what is essentially a military activity, whether it's the recovery of these young girls or anything else. So, you know, we're in a different day and age. I think much more thought needs to be given to this. I think the women of the Senate are totally united, and this is a very, very big issue for women. How far are we prepared to go to save these girls, even if the head of government does not invite the nation our nation to do so?
It really calls into question whether the men in charge of our government, frankly, would have been responding more quickly, despite Goodluck Jonathan, the president of Nigeria's opposition, whether they would have been responding more rapidly if it hadn't been schoolgirls, if it had been some other premise.
You mean if it had been schoolboys? No,
well, I mean,
don't
or
think
some
that's
other military, I guess some other cause, because it just seems that it took forever to mobilize the U.S. government, even against the opposition of the Nigerian government.
Well, I'm not going to speculate on that. I am to say that I think this kind of thing opens up a whole new venue for America's technical means of seeing from the sky. And then when you see what you do, if it's a terrorist training camp, what you do, how quickly you do it, if it's a targeted individual, what you do, how quickly you do it, because this all takes time, it takes patience, and the CIA has become very good at this from the air, but in this kind of instance, it took weeks, and we even had the president of Nigeria's wife saying, this isn't true. This didn't happen. They're doing it to embarrass my husband. And of course, it was very much true. And Nigeria has been very reluctant to take action, which I find very surprising.
Surprising and upsetting, frankly.
That's
Senator,
right.
thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Dianne Feinstein.
Thank you.